everyone, and welcome back to AFTV. It is Champions League week. It's match day 6. This Wednesday, Arsenal travel to Bruges to take on the Belgian club Bruges. In the studio with me to discuss this, I've got two of my favourite AFTV contributors. To my left, I've got Matt in the building.
Am I one of your favourites?
Of course, man.
Respect.
I love the way you talk about the game, you know what I mean, your personality, the way you contribute to the shows.
You too.
Thank you very much. And whilst we're on the loving, definitely one of my boys, man, Stricto, even if he was about 20 minutes late today.
Oh,
he's used the whole...
Was it only 20 minutes? That was an hour late. You look.
What you're doing is reinforcing the stereotype about black man time. You know what I mean? But I'm glad to have Stricto in the building. Yeah, this game, man, I mean, Arsenal currently top of the Champions League. They are the only team in the competition currently with a 100% record, 5 games played, 5 games won, 15 points. Things are going very well. However, we're coming off a loss. Matt, do you think the loss will affect what we need to do on Wednesday, or how are you feeling ahead of this game?
I think that this game and Saturday are two different teams. You know, that's a team that's going for something that, you know, is in the early stages of what's going to be a long season. Wednesday is, you know, I think we're 99% probability of us going through to the next round. And I know this doesn't make for great viewing, but I honestly, I don't really care about this game. I think it's I think it is a great opportunity for us to rest at last. We haven't had a rest, and this is a game where you can play even from your goalkeeper. You get your Keppers in, Wanyeri, Dauman, give Andre Anusa a go, Marley Salmon, academy prospect at the back. I think that, you know, no disrespect to Bruges, they're a good side, but this is a game where we don't need to win. And
true, but then the corollary to that is that if you look at our last couple of games, we've not won. If you look at Arsenal's away form, it's not been very good. We dropped points against Sunderland, dropped points against Chelsea when you consider they went down to 10 men. Of course, we were beaten by Villa, and now it's another away game. Stricto, are you of the feeling that, Matt, what he's saying, or do you think like me that we need to address our away form?
I think I half agree with Matt and half disagree, of course. For me, I've always maintained that winning is a habit and so is losing. So the run that we've had now where we've won 1 in 3 or something like that? Yeah, Brentford. So for me, I want us to win this game. Because if Arsenal were to lose, then that psychological thing starts creeping into the team of like, damn, we're in a sort of a crisis. And I think if you want to win, you must always maintain a winning mentality. Now, I'm not saying if you make changes in the team or in the squad, whatever, that it will affect us winning. But if you make too much changes, there's a possibility that in the Champions League, and as much as Bruges aren't your Inters or your Bayern Munichs or the elite team in the Champions League, it is still an elite competition with the best teams, and you could get punished, even though if you take your eye off the ball. So for me, it's all about, of course, there's certain players that I would rest, I do think deserve a rest, because we've seen it in their performances of late where they just look shattered. You know, Declan Rice being one of them, and me personally is one of my favourite players in Arsenal right now. And players like him need to start being managed. Almost like how we was screaming for Saka a few seasons ago. Listen, stop giving him too much game time. But I wouldn't mind Declan just rest him, wrap him in cotton wool, because we don't have a Declan Rice again. If that man goes off injured, and I keep saying this, there is no respectable competition for him in Arsenal squad if Declan goes down. So players like that, we've got to start sort of protecting a bit. But I still want us to go there with a stronger team. Yes, we're more than likely going to qualify, but I think it's about maintaining that winning mentality. We've just suffered a loss. Now use Bruges as a mat to wipe the blood off.
I like that analogy. Yeah.
That was a very nice.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that spontaneous, or did you come
off the head, man? Off the head,
head
man.
top, man. I like that. I like that.
What do you think?
You know what? I agree with much of what Stricto says, especially when he talks about winning and losing and how it can become contagious. We've not won now for a couple of weeks, and well, actually, we beat Brentford, but you know what I'm saying. Away from home, the form has been a little bit indifferent. Whilst we're on that, what did you make of the game on Saturday? Some people
Devastating.
right.
A devastating defeat. I mean, I'm not one to throw my toys out the pram. I think it made us realise how lucky we've been this season to go so long without feeling that. And it sort of came as a...
18 games.
We hadn't lost a game since August, since when the sun was shining. Now the days are so short. It's dark at 6 and dark at 3. And I haven't felt that since the summer. And to feel it in the last second, it absolutely killed me. I don't think we actually played terrible. I think we could have. I think our approach was not too bad. It was our control in the game, which we've had for so long, so many games this season. We didn't have that control. It's not an excuse. But
Don't say it. Don't say it. They're gonna come for you, bro.
It's not an excuse.
Don't say it.
I'm not using this as an excuse, but it's definitely a reason. To go to Villa Park, the most informed team in Europe, arguably, without your 2 centre-backs, I'm not gobsmacked that we didn't win the game. You know, I would have actually taken a draw, and that's what kills me, the fact that we were 1 kick away from getting that point. You know, for the second time in a week, we're playing with a brand new centre-back pairing. Timber and Hincapié. Never played I know they played a little bit together at Brentford, but that's the first time they've played together, and they're going to Villa Park, a team that are scoring 2-3 goals a game, and it's so annoying that we're not able to play our full team. It's really, because when we've got our full team, we are probably the hardest team to beat in the world, and that's what's so frustrating, is that we can't go into these games with our best team.
Stricto, Matt made some good points there, but he said he's devastated. Are you devastated?
I definitely was devastated. I was doing my...
You was?
Yeah. If you anyone watching my stream, plug it quick, Stricto strict. Yeah. And I was speechless, bro. I literally, there was no words.
It's not often I see you speechless.
Thank you. There was no words to speak. And like Matt said, it was the manner. Last kick of the game. Literally, last kick of the game. And yeah, I definitely agree. And it's not an excuse, but listen, we arguably got the 2 best centre-back pairing in world football. No one would ever tell me that there's a defender on the planet right now better than Gabriel Magalhaes. I'm not trying to hear that argument. He is the best centre-back.
The only other one that could rival him is actually in our team, Saliba.
Saliba, right. Thank you. So but I actually wasn't disappointed in the defence as much as I was with the attack.
Oh, right.
If I'm being honest, I felt, and I made the analogy of we needed, we'll talk about boxing a lot, right? Some boxers are
I do anyway.
We do, yeah?
Yeah.
Backs against the rope, really nothing much to give, but they always find the extra. And champions are the ones who usually do that, or when they're made champions. If you look at most championship fights, when a challenger's fighting a champion, and you have to win that belt. That belt ain't given to you, right? So we just did not have the extra. You could tell physically they were tired, emotionally they were drained, couldn't really push that extra gear. And I think where we want to be as a club right now, where we want to win the league, you have to find the extras. And bar I think 10, 15 minutes in that game when Trossard came on and he scored the goal. And after that, maybe we had a spell of 5 minutes, and then we went back flat again. We didn't try to push that extra. And I felt I was very disappointed in the forward line. Now, the defence, we can talk about. Yeah, we can talk about Saliba, Mosquera, Gabby not being there. And Mosquera even crazy because he's like the courtesy car. You get a new car.
He's on the analogies today, man.
Like the courtesy car's broken down. But the attack, what were the attack doing?
Sorry to interrupt you. It's not so much the defence actually defending that we're missing. It's the coolness of both of them to relax the rest of the team.
Yes.
Look how panicky we were at times in the game. We were hanging on by a thread, especially in that last 10. And those, especially Saliba, he calms it down. Yeah. Gabriel, he calms it down. Look what was happening. Timber almost put it into his own net. We were absolutely on our arses because we don't have that. Hincapié is a great defender. I think he had a great game, but you saw at the end there that rashness and that lack of composure that he had that ultimately cost us the game. You don't get that with Gabriel and Saliba.
No.
I must say, I'm interested to hear both your takes on this. I wasn't as devastated as you guys were, and I'll tell you why. Don't get me wrong, it was very disappointing, especially the manner. We were seconds away from getting, which I think would have been a very creditable point. You said yourself, Villa, it's almost like the wrong time to play them. I mean, the form they're showing at the moment, they beat City there. They're on this unbeaten run. I think in the form table, they're actually ahead of Arsenal. So to go there at their place, early kickoff, all the elements were kind of against us in a little way. So I would have definitely taken a draw. We were seconds away from that. We conceded needlessly. I think Nkapie, who was up to that point, was having a good game.
My man,
as soon as he,
to that point,
possibly. As soon as he ran that out, immediately I had a bad feeling. Anyway, we conceded the goal, but we lost. But we got to put things into context. We're at a point now where we're being affected by injuries. You know what I'm saying? We've got to also take into context that 18-game unbeaten run. So we've been on a long run. We were going to lose eventually. Losing to Villa is not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? I'll be much more upset if we lost next week to Wolves, put it that way. So I think it was disappointing, but I do think we can bounce back. Anyway,
can I make a quick point?
Of course you can.
I don't know if you've thought about this. I cannot fathom why we bought Norgard.
Well, I was going to come on to that.
Okay,
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad. Actually, you know what? We will go to I was going to talk a little bit about Bruges, but let's go to what we think the team might be very briefly. I know it's probably going to be covered on another forum on this channel, but yeah, there will be rotation.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say in this team. Let's start with Matt. I'm assuming that when you're saying that about Norgard, you want to see him play.
Yeah. I want to see a very like what Pep did against Leverkusen. I know they lost, but he was able to rest 10 players, and since then they've had a proper rest, and you've seen that they've come out flying in their last couple of games. I would leave Rice, Saka, Eze, Timber. I'd leave them at home. Wouldn't even let them travel. Get them in an ice bath. Get them ready. I'd arguably do the same for Wolves as well.
Oh,
no disrespect to Wolves, but they've been absolutely pathetic. 2 points. I think this week is a big opportunity for us to regenerate some sort of stamina, because none of these players have had a rest, especially Rice and Zubimendi, and that's why I said about Norgard. Why has he not played?
I got into it with a few people on this channel when I said, and I'll say it again, before we played Brentford, I could not understand why Rice was not rested. If you look at the Chelsea game, to me it was clear that Rice, and he's not the only one, there's a couple others as well, but noticeably Rice. And the reason why I say noticeably Rice, because he's that guy, and he's up and down, he gives everything. He has a prodigious work rate. And I could see in that Chelsea game, he wasn't quite at the level. And when you're not quite at the level, when you're playing some of the bigger teams, it does show. And I feel he should have been rested for the Brentford game. And I kind of said what you said. I said to Robbie and them, man, I said, look, if we can't play Christian Norgard against Brentford at home, against a team like Brentford, who stricto, they'd lost 5 of their previous 6 away games. A guy who played for Brentford was arguably one of their best players, scored against Arsenal last season in the corresponding game. Their captain. If we can't play Christian Norgard against Brentford, why did we buy him? And I said to him, and I said also that as well as Norgard, I'd like to see Saka rested and a few of the other. You can have those guys on the bench, but you need to start managing their minutes, because if you don't, what you'll find is they will start to decline. And unfortunately, I think we saw that against Villa. Again, those guys were not, well, certainly Rice wasn't at his normal.
Zubimendi was absolutely on the floor.
Yeah.
He was done. He couldn't run anymore.
And that's what you get.
What's even crazy is, like, when you're not managing them well, it affects the people who come in, because they don't have, they're rusty.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you, let's say, for example, you played Norgard against Brentford, for instance, and he had a big chunk of minutes, then it means the next game he's likely more greased to handle the next game.
Yeah.
So what happens is, the more you're consistently not managing the players correctly, it actually affects the people who do, when eventually come in.
You make a great point.
They don't gel well because they're rusty.
And the other thing with that is as well, if we got this great squad, which, don't get me wrong, I do believe we have the best squad in the Premier League, but it's up to the manager to utilise those players. And when I say utilise it, I'm not talking about giving them 5 minutes here and there. Like Stricto says, they need to be getting minutes, playing games, because that's the only way you're going to assimilate properly. I think it's unfair to expect a guy to come off the bench with just 10, 8, 9 minutes to go and demand that he puts in a performance. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. Stricto, so you've heard my man say he'd make wholesale changes for the game against Bruges. Are you with that, or do you differ?
I think there's some players that I would.
Who would you retain then from, say, Saturday's team?
Who would I retain?
Yeah. Would you leave out Rice? Would you leave?
Yeah, I think Rice. I would leave out.
Would you leave out Saka?
No, I wouldn't leave out Saka.
Are you joking me?
Do you know why? Do you know why?
I like it.
Do you know why I wouldn't leave out Saka? I feel like Saka needs minutes. And it sounds crazy because...
What?
I know it sounds mad, but I don't think he's been doing enough. Like this season he's been...
So your argument is play him into form. I think what you're saying, you want to play him into form.
I want to play him into form. Thank you very much. Saka's off form. And I don't think resting him helps him. Now, I know it sounds crazy because Saka's the one everyone screams about. Take him off. Normally, I would agree, but for this game, it's one of them games where I feel like you dash him in there, let him play his way back into form, and we'll see. I would rest him. No, I wouldn't even rest him against Wolves. He would be involved in Wolves, but I do think Saka has been very different this season. But I think like the key players for me would be Rice, Zubimendi, Timber, possibly Calafiori.
Yeah, I'd bring Mars in.
I think Gyökeres definitely needs to play in this game. Like,
he was off it big time.
Yeah, he needs it.
What about the number 10 position? Because Odegaard, to be fair, I thought he had a good game.
I thought he was good. I can't believe
Whereas Eze, the last couple of games, I mean, Eze's my guy.
Defensively, Eze needs to learn the Arsenal way defensively.
Yeah.
Every player that plays for Arsenal, that starts for Arsenal, they have their own positions to play, but there's a core, which is you have to know how to work hard. And I've said this even prior to the Villa game. I don't like Eze's work rate. I don't like Eze's work rate.
Yeah.
And it might be a thing of he's new. I love Eze, but he still needs to learn the Arsenal.
Do you think he has a natural athleticism? Because when you compare Eze is a fantastic player.
Well, have you seen the size of his legs?
I know, but that doesn't mean it's going to get him up and down the pitch. He just doesn't seem to have the cardio of, say,
I don't think that's what we bought him for, though. Why did we buy
exactly.
We didn't buy Eze to track back. Eze's not that guy. He never has been that guy, and I don't think he ever will be that guy. Eze's the type of guy that you buy as a marquee signing you stick in a Rolls Royce signing that you stick in the middle like a Mesut Ozil, and create. I don't want him back on the fence. That's not his job. I know it costs us.
That's the Arteta way. That's the Arteta way. Arteta wants everyone to be able to track back. That's just his way.
Why didn't he buy Morgan Rogers? I would have rathered Eze than Morgan Rogers, but there's two. If you bought Eze to track back, that is not the right signing to make.
I think is Arteta he likes players to have a diverse range of skill sets. You know, he definitely prioritizes players to be able to do more than what they expected to do. Martinelli, for instance, Martinelli, that guy could be a fullback.
Yeah,
Martinelli could be a fullback. The way Arteta has him up and down, he almost neglects his primary duty, which is to attack. And and half the time why Martinelli starts is because of his tracking back. So I think like Eze, yes, I understand we didn't buy him for that. But while you're here, and what has worked with Arsenal so far is everyone pulls in. No one is a Rolls Royce in that sense. Everyone is a tractor, and you got to be a tractor to do the dirty job. It's as simple as that.
Let's talk then about our opponents, Club Bruges. They're not doing so well in the Champions League at the moment. I think there's something like 26 in that table at the moment. Arsenal are first. They've got 4 points. I think they've won one game, lost one and drawn three, or drawn one and lost three. They did get a draw against Barcelona, though, earlier in the group phase, and they do have some decent players. What do you reckon Arsenal do in terms of tactically? How will they approach it?
Control the game. I think that's literally what Mikel Arteta tries to do with every single game we approach is get that control. I think it's going to be a very... like I said, it doesn't make for great viewing, but I think that this is going to be a very friendly-ish game, almost. I don't.
Who? For them or for us?
For us.
Okay.
I think I might disagree with that, because I think that they have designs of still being able to qualify. They might still be able to get in.
I think what it means is, like, as a fan, as us, you're not putting too much intensity in.
I'm not gutted if we don't get a result, and I'm not screaming if we score.
I get that.
Whereas, but I think we will be seen as a scout for them. They're at home. They're not bad at home.
Yeah.
They will be. Arsenal come to town. It's like Arsenal always have a target on their back. The crowd will be up for it. Apparently, when their stadium is full, the fans are quite lively.
I think that it's going to be a game where a lot of players that haven't had the minutes that they would have liked to are going to be trying to prove a point, i.e. Nwaneri will be bang up for it. Lewis Skelly will be up for it. Then you can, point towards Gyökeres, like a massive game for him. This needs to score, needs a goal to get him back on track. So I think it's going to be a game that requires a lot of, I think there'll be a little bit of selfishness amongst our players, because someone's going to want to shine. It's a Champions League night, whether it's our biggest game or not. It is a Champions League night. The world is watching. Downman could get involved. Yeah, it's going to be a game of, I think, individual brilliance.
Do you think Marino starts this game? Like, if Gyökeres is playing, is he playing in midfield, or is it even possibly a chance for Arteta to explore different shape?
Lewis Skelly in the midfield, maybe.
Possibly.
I hope Nwaneri gets some minutes, because I'm struggling to comprehend how this guy's...
He's the most unluckiest Arsenal player. And I say that. You have Chelsea fans screaming about Esteval and what Esteval has achieved. And Nwaneri's done everything Esteval has done. Earlier, younger, whether it's the Champions League, Premier League, he's scored in all of those competitions. The season comes, there's contract talks. Will he stay? Will he leave? He stays, decides to stay, and just can't really get in. I personally think he's a winger. Even when he's in the middle, he plays like a winger. He carries the ball a lot, So he's definitely been one of the players that I think has been unlucky. I would definitely give him a huge chunk of minutes. Huge.
Let me ask you, because you were talking about Saka starting. Yeah. God forbid, touch wood.
Don't put it there. Is there wood? Is this
Let's say
wood?
Saka goes down injured, yeah?
Hey.
Are you not blaming Arteta for starting him?
No, I think it's different this season. And I'll tell you why. For the last few seasons, he's been our key man, right? He's been the one, like I said, we've all screamed for take this guy off. Don't play him in this game. But I think this season is slightly different. Particularly, I remember the Newcastle game when Saka was taken off. And we then went on to win that game. And there's other games where he's been taken off. And it hasn't really affected us as much. So Saka going down, I don't see it as something this season that would be a huge, crazy colossus to our season like it would have been previous seasons. We've got not by any chance am I saying is Madueke anywhere near what Saka produces, right? But I think as a whole, the team are doing more as a whole than just being Saka alone, which is what we've been used to.
I don't know if that's true.
You don't think so?
I'm loving that convo, but I've got to stop you there. Time is running. I'll just say, let's give some respect to Bruges. They are third in their league. They do have some good players. Christophe Tassoli, a winger. Christophe Tassoli.
Let's not pretend. No. I know you're going to try to do the whole...
He was talking to me about him before, actually.
Was he? I know you're going to try to do the whole professional...
No, I've done a little bit of research and I'm able to say that their best players this season, Christophe Tassoli, Hans Van Aken, who I've heard of before, an attacking midfielder. They've got one of your guys, Rafael Onyedeka, Nigerian guy.
Yeah, he's very good.
Midfielder.
Very, very good.
Nicholas Trezeguet, centre forward. So they do have some threats. They do have some decent players.
Do they have Simon Mignolet, or am I making
Yeah,
that
he's in their squad, definitely. Yeah, they do have him, former Liverpool keeper. But let's face it, Arsenal should be beating them in this game. I do think the crowd will be a factor. They're at home. Like I said, whenever Arsenal rock up, everyone wants to beat them. But let's move to predictions. Matt.
I'm going to say 4-1 Arsenal.
4-1, wow.
4-1.
Confidence,
yeah.
I like it.
I think that we get a goal early on, it opens up.
They do concede a lot of goals, by the way.
And I think that this could be Nwaneri's resurgence, potentially. I think he's got a point to prove.
My
Do
gosh.
you think he still has a point to prove?
Maybe no. I think everyone knows his quality.
Yeah.
But a sort of like, why are you not giving me any minutes?
A reminder.
Yeah, a reminder. Yeah.
7-0. That's always my prediction. 3-1. Arsenal.
I was going to go with 3-1. We need an away win. We need a win, but definitely need an away win. Our form is becoming a little bit of a concern for me. So I'm going to go with 3-1. You're gone with?
4-1.
4-1.
4-1.
4-1, 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, so clean sweep across the board. Yes, I do think Arsenal win. They need the win, I think. Maybe not for qualification purposes because we're already qualified, but just to get things back on track. But anyway, Matt, thank you so much for
Great
coming
hosting.
Thank you, appreciate it. Love my guy Street. Turn up
great
on time
hosting,
next time.
Hey, Matt, did he pay you for that?
And most of all, thanks to you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Catch us on the next one. We're out.